necessary conversations. And the question is about racism, but two issues, since we're wrapping up, two issues that I think we need the younger generation to help move our community forward, that I care passionately about within the South Asian community, is domestic violence. I think there is an epidemic of hidden domestic violence that occurs in our community. And we've got to be able to surface that and talk about it, particularly with arranged marriages and so forth that happens. And then LGBTQ rights in our community, in the South Asian Indian American community. These are going to make my parents' generation really uncomfortable, but they're necessary conversations. So to the young DFP folks out there, as John Lewis said, let's get out there. Let's have these difficult conversations, because we know we have LGBTQ members in the South Asian community. We know there's domestic violence. They're uncomfortable topics, but let's talk about them. So, Roger, with that.
Well said, Ami, except I just disagree with one kind of suggestion you made, which is that you are not part of the younger generation. I don't understand why you kept referring to them in the third person. But thank you. We still include you in our generation. Hey, I think Ami said everything, just perfectly. If I had to add something, it's just that I think that we need to lock arms with every community that's facing any kind of discrimination or prejudice. And we can't stand silent when anything happens to them, hoping that, we are in some kind of privileged position and that it wouldn't happen to us at some point. And I think there's a little bit of that mentality in our community. And I think that we have to kind of confront that a little bit. When I spent some time with, my Sikh American friends. So this month is technically Sikh American Awareness Month or Heritage Month in Illinois. And it was so tragic what happened in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, because I do think in part the killer was targeting Sikh Americans. That was part of the equation. And just as the killer in Atlanta, he was not having a bad day. He was having a desire to kill Asian American women or Asian Americans. And at those moments, I think that our community can tend to feel somewhat comfortable and removed from what's happening. And I think those are the times when we need to make an active effort to get people speaking up and speaking out on behalf of those other communities and standing with them, because that's the only way that we're going to deal with domestic violent extremism, white nationalism, racially and ethnically motivated extremist acts. It's a real thing. And as a member of the Intelligence Committee, I can tell you that everything that might separate us or that might seem to be a difference among us pales in comparison to how certain individuals, and they're growing in number in this country, view all non-white people. We are of a piece. We are, we're only shades of this color at this point. And we got to remember that, and we got to band together and stand up for really what America should symbolize or embody, which is equality. That is, and freedom and justice for everybody.
Thank you so much to both of you. We're just about at time, so we'll just ask both of you to close with whatever you'd like to let folks know, but also maybe answer this one last question. That's really, we have so many folks out there getting, especially in our communities, increasingly getting civically engaged and actively involved in the political process. And especially after the last 4 years, after this last election cycle, we know, and you both certainly know how tiring that can be, especially, doing your jobs in increasingly partisan and polarized environments. As you close out, with any closing remarks you might have, can you also just let us know what advice you might have for folks who are, getting into the thick of it, and how to handle when the going gets a little tough?
Ami?
You want to start and then I'll wrap up?
No, you can go first.
Okay. I think you've seen a recurring theme here is, and it's something that our former colleague who lost, John Lewis, would say, show up, stand up, but speak up. And, that is a lot of this. So if there's an issue that you're passionate about, show up, stand up, and speak up about it. This is a time to, get out and organize. And Roger and I are Democrats, and I think about where the Republican Party is right now on the heels of January 6th, and very much worry about how we move forward and create space until the Republican Party can kind of find its governing coalition. But there are just some, I believe in this country deeply. I believe you're going to hear, part of Zoom is now there's a leaf blower outside, so you're going to hear that in the background potentially. But the strength of this country is this fabric, this tapestry of different cultures, different religions, different traditions and ethnicities, immigrants, one generation after another, woven together. And that's been the strength of the United States of America. But we're at a crossroads where there, as Raja alluded to, there are elements that are not insignificant in this country that want to take us in a very different direction as well. And this is a time for all of us to show up, to stand up, and to speak up, because the beauty of America is that tapestry that's woven together. It makes us very unique as a nation.
I think I would echo what Ami said. I think that what I would suggest to anybody who, really wants to get involved in politics and maybe even run for office, and which I hope a lot of you consider, is, we're kind of in a moment right now where I think it's kind of an inflection point for our country. January 6th, unfortunately, surfaced in a very ugly way some sentiments and some trends and some movements that had perhaps been under the surface, but all of a sudden came, in front of us very vividly, violently, and is going to leave a mark on us. And I think that for a lot of people, they think the insurrection began that day. It did not conclude. And so we're in this moment where I think you have a chance to help us as a country navigate to a better place. And what that means is try to both stand up and speak up, as Ami said, for what you believe in, but also to listen and try to figure out how do you dialogue with people who might be on the other side of an issue and try to bring us to a better place in terms of solutions and in terms of civility in our politics and in terms of government getting things done. This is vital. And I think it's partly why Joe Biden is doing well right now, because people see him getting things done. They see him getting people vaccinated. They see him trying to repair the economy. But it's only a start because there's so many other challenges that have to be addressed. But it's that kind of, if you can become part of the getting things done caucus in life, then people will notice that. And people will want you to be on their team and fighting for them. And so that's what I would just encourage. Whatever you can do to be part of a solution, part of a movement, but also part of getting things done, the more power to you. And I think you'll really rise up in your ability to help people, both in your community and further than that.
Awesome. Thank you both. I know we have gone a little bit over time, and you both have a busy schedule. So I just want to thank you both again, Congressman Bera, Congressman Krishnamurthy, for joining us. I hope we will get to do this again next year in person at our 5th annual roundtable. But again, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Nisha. Stay out of trouble, Ami.
And for the rest of you, I will make sure to, oh, sorry, Congressman, did you? Okay, he's good. I will turn it over to Victoria Meany. She is one of our board members of Desis for Progress, to close us out. So thanks again, everyone.
Thank you for hosting, Nisha. Obviously, our members of Congress are super busy, but we thank them again so much for being able to participate, not just in tonight's event, but also the work that they do on our behalves every single day. Thank you all that have joined us tonight. For anybody that did miss tonight's event, we will be posting a recording on YouTube in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. Of course, you can always follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And like we always say, these events are not possible without your support. So please, if you have the ability to, we are always accepting donations. You can visit our website, desisforprogress.org, and that's where you will find us. And stay tuned for a follow-up email regarding this event. Thank you all so much and have a great night.